Hello everyone, hope you're all having a wonderful day, and today I want to talk about the new update that Remnant 2 did receive yesterday, because the devs updated the legendary fragments yet again, and also a whole bunch of other stuff in the game, but we are mainly going to be focusing on those legendary fragments and the prism. Because let's be real, this new system has everyone panties in a twist, and we're desperately hoping that this update might just untwist those panties just a little bit. For those that don't know, I did do a video talking about the prism system when it did release, going over the good, the bad, and the ugly. So now that the prism system has received 2 updates to it, I thought now would be a good time to re-review said prism system. So let's see, after all the updates to the prism, is it going to be a win or is it going to be thrown in the bin? Okay, let's not muck around. Let's jump into arguably the biggest change in this patch, and it's one that everyone has been asking for, me included. We can finally re-roll legendary fragments, baby. Woohoo! So we've all been asking for this change, and to be fair, we did get this change fairly quickly, so massive props to the devs for actually implementing this change as quickly as possible. So yes, you can now re-roll for your legendary fragment when you get to 51, and you can re-roll for any legendary fragment as well. So there was speculation that you could only roll certain legendary fragments depending on what prism you had. Now I don't know if that was even true, but if it was, it doesn't seem to be the case with this update. It seems like you could just roll for whatever legendary fragment. At least for me, it's working that way. I've already re-rolled my prisms 4 times, and I've been getting different options every single time. I could just be getting insanely lucky, but at least that's how it's working for me. So don't stress worrying about when you have to re-roll your legendary fragment. It does seem like you are going into the whole pool of legendary fragments, so you should be able to eventually roll on what you are looking for. And then a bit of an older change, one that came out about 2 weeks ago, is we're able to now flush our prism before level 50, which is a pretty solid change, meaning that if you get bad RNG or if you just stuff up your prism, you're not going to be locked into it like a bloody inmate in a maximum security prism. You actually have some freedom when you are leveling up your prism to level 50 now, which is fantastic. So these changes have definitely sparked some life into the prism system now. Personally do think the prism system is slowly starting to reward the player for the time invested. I've definitely been investing more time into the prism system myself, knowing that there is a better chance for me to get the perfect setup now that I can re-roll, and if I fuck up my prism on the way to 50, I can just flush it and start again. It's definitely better compared to what got shipped with DLC 3, that's for sure. It's still not perfect by any means necessary, but we are definitely getting there, gentlemen, and there's even more big changes on the way coming for the prism system, which I will get into towards the end of this video. I'm just happy the devs have made changes instead of gaslighting us for thinking it's bad. But of course, it's not all sunshines and rainbows in Remnant land. This new update hasn't really glossed over well with the community, shocker. I mean, just take a stroll down to Reddit or Discord and it won't take you long to quickly see what I am talking about. And I know what you're thinking, how did an update that everybody wanted so bad not go over so smoothly? Well, it has a lot to do with the fact that the devs increased the XP it is needed to go from level 50 to level 51, which I will be honest, it might not have been what people wanted, but it definitely isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. And I'll explain why. This might be a hot take, but fuck it, I got some shit to unpack. So when I initially saw everyone complaining, I thought they had increased the XP by like 20 times, 10 times. Nope, they just increased the XP needed to go from level 50 to 51 by 4 times. So instead of 50,000 XP, you'll need 200,000 XP, which really isn't that bad. If you're running through the hatchery like I've been doing, it will take you roughly 40 minutes to go from level 50 to 51 on your prism if you're using all the XP boosting items, which is more than reasonable, I feel, considering the grind from prism level 0 to 50 is about 8 to 10 hours depending on what content you're grinding through. I will agree though, going from 0 to 51 is more of a slog now, but only by like 10%. So I do think the outrage about this change is just a little silly. I know people are asking for an item sync to re-roll, like using corrupted shards or simulacrum to re-roll for legendary fragments, which I'll be honest, sounds great. That sounds really great, but I think it would take you probably just around about the same amount of time to re-farm for those materials if you ran out as it would just to refarm the extra XP from level 50 to 51. In fact, I think the extra XP is more streamlined, it's just easier to do, but I don't know, that's just my opinion. But one change I'm definitely a little bit on the fence about is the fact that you have to forfeit your legendary fragment to re-roll for another legendary fragment. It would have been great to be able to hold on to your legendary fragment until you re-rolled for another one. So you just hold on to the legendary fragment till you get to 51, and then when you re-roll a new one, it will just kick the old one out, whether you like it or not. I'm really not sure if they had the tech for this, but I can definitely see how that particular change would probably leave a bad taste in your mouth. You got to forfeit up maybe a half decent fragment for the chance at a better one, which is just adding again more RNG into the mix. I definitely don't see this as the biggest issue. It's not even near the biggest issue with this system, but I am definitely happy we are able to re-roll for new legendary fragments though. I think that is a massive W. I think the biggest issue the community has, and me personally, is that the grind from 0 to 51 is just way too tedious, especially with the different levels of RNG, and especially because you'll have to do it multiple times for multiple different builds, and you'll probably have to re-roll your legendary fragment a few times as well. No! It can be a massive time sink if you're getting really unlucky, and that brings me to my next point. This prison system just came way too late into the lifespan of Remnant 2. If this was shipped with release or even DLC 1, people probably wouldn't have even as much of an issue with this system, I guarantee it. Wait, this is just it. Breaking news everybody. Tragic lead director at Gunfire Games has stated they will be lowering the XP requirement when leveling your prism from 0 to 50. It's a great day for our country. Ooh, baby, you heard that correctly. Tragic has come out and said the team is going to lower the XP requirement to go from 0 to 50 in half, baby. Woo, 50% off. That's what you want to see. That change will be so big, so fucking massive, and it can't come any sooner. Apparently this will be literally the next patch. I'm not sure if that's like next week or in 2 weeks time. I think it probably might be next week. But they also state that they're going to further increase boss rush XP. They're going to give you more XP for killing the bosses. So even if you don't make it to the end, you're still going to get rewarded for all that XP, which I think is the biggest buzzkill with boss rush. You're just not rewarded with the amount of XP that you're getting, because you can just go to the hatchery or you can just go nuke witches in the asylum. And I feel like it's just much more chilled. It's more brain dead, but it is much more chill just to get your XP that way. But I would rather be in boss rush getting XP. And I feel like that XP change when you do defeat bosses in boss rush is going to be fantastic. This would alleviate so many issues people currently have with the prism system and the boss rush update. And they're going to cut the XP grind on the prism down by half. That is... oh my god, that is so good. It may seem like a massive grind now, but it ain't going to be that way for much longer. It is getting cut back by a sizable amount. So besides the small negative comments, at this particular point in time, I do think the prism system is worth your time. But there is something to be said about maybe just waiting next week for the big XP nerf to the prism to make it a hell of a lot easier to just level your prism up. I feel like if you're still really on the fence about the prism, it's still just leaving a dirty taste in your mouth just looking at it. Maybe just wait to the next patch when they do half the XP down on the prism, because that is just going to make it so much easier to level that bad boy up. And they're going to make the rerolls even easier as well. So it is all coming together, as Crunk would say.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
But it is nice to see the prism system slowly morphing into a system I'll happily dump copious amounts of hours into, trying to perfect my prism like a mad scientist perfects the perfect scheme. Overall, the prism system isn't perfect, but it is definitely 10 times better than what it was when it first shipped out. And then when the next patch comes out, it's going to be 1,000,000 times better. I cannot wait for the XP to be cut in half, because I got 2 more prisms to level up, and I am not excited to do that. But when the XP does get cut in half, yeah, I'm all on board. Sorry for the rant there, guys. I might have got lost in the sauce a little bit, but please let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the new changes to the prism system in the comment section below. Do you agree with what I said, or do you think I'm maybe smoking too many rocks? Let me know. Appreciate all love and support as always, guys, and until next time, stay safe. Peace out.